This is the Edexcel Maths Paper 2 Calculator Paper Foundation from June 2024. Question 1. We need to write the following numbers in order. Start with the lowest number. So we've got negative numbers here. Remember, negative 3 is lower than negative 1. So negative 3 is our lowest number, then negative 1. Then we've got 2, 4, and 7. Question 2. Change 5,000 milliliters to liters. 1 liter is equal to 1,000 milliliters. So how many thousand milliliters have we got? We've got 5,000, 5 liters. Question 3. Write 31 over 100 as a decimal. 31 over 100 is the same as 31 divided by 100. It's 0.31. We can, of course, use the calculator. So if I type in 31 over 100 and I need to change it to a decimal, I get 0.31. Write down the multiple of 7 that is between 30 and 40. Again, we can use the calculator, but 7 times 5 is 35. So it is 35. Question 5. Complete the statement below to make it correct. Something times m is equal to 2m. 2m means 2 times m. So it must be 2. 2 times m is 2m. So xy would mean x times y. 2 x's would mean 2 times x. When there's nothing there, it means times. Question 6. Ben sells houses. The pictogram shows information about the number of houses Ben sold in each of the first 3 months of last year. So we've got January, February, and March. Our whole square is 4 houses. So we've got 4, 4, and 2 in January, 4, 4, and 1 in February, and 4, 4, and another 4 in March. Part A says write down the number of houses Ben sold in January. So it's 4, 4, and 2. That will be 10. In April, Ben sold 11 houses. Show this information on a pictogram. So 11 is 4 plus 4, which is 8, and then 3 more. So we need 2 whole squares, and then 3 more, so 3 quarters. So it's going to look something like this. And Ben sold a total of 60 houses in the first 5 months. Work out the number of houses Ben sold in May. So we have 10, 9, 12, and 11. So let's add those up. 10 plus 9 plus 12 plus 11 is 42. 10 plus 9 plus 12 plus 11 is 42. He sold a total of 60. So how many more does he need to sell? 60 take away 42 is 18. So it must be 18 more houses in May to make the total 60. Question 7. Measure the length of this line. Give your answer in centimeters. I don't actually have a ruler to bring up on the screen, but it should be 8.7 centimeters. And measure the size of the angle marked X. So we're going to get our protractor, measure the angle, and we should get 67 degrees. And part C, in the space below, draw a hexagon. So a hexagon is a 6-sided shape. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Question 8. The points A and B are shown on a grid. Write down the coordinates of point A. So we've got 2 along the x, 1 up the y. When we have coordinates, it's x then y. It's 2, 1. Find the coordinates of the midpoint of AB. So the middle of A and B. So we need to go 4 along the x. So halfway would be 2 along. We would get to here. That should be exactly halfway. We have to go 2 along, up 3, 2 along, up 3. So the coordinates, x first, which is nothing, 0, and then y, -2. So the coordinates are 0, -2. On the grid, mark with a cross the point with coordinates -4, 2. Label this point C. So -4 on the x, 2 up the y, and that is called C. Question 9. Anil has a job as a driver. He is paid for each mile he drives. He is also paid expenses. One week, Anil writes down the distance readings from his car. So we've got the start of the week and the end of the week. So we can work out how many miles he's driven. So it's going to be the miles at the end, 47,879. Take away the miles at the beginning, 47,241. So how many miles has he driven? That is 638 miles. He is paid 47p for each mile and £80 in expenses. How much is he paid? 638 times 47p. So 47p times 638 is £299.86. And also expenses of £80. So add on the £80. And that will tell us how much he's paid. £379.86. So that is the total. Question 10. Anita throws a coin 3 times. Each time the coin can land on heads or tails. List all the possible outcomes. So we need to write down everything that could possibly happen. We could get heads, heads, and then heads again. Or we could get heads, heads, and then tails. So that's the options for heads, then heads. What if we got heads, then tails? We could get heads, tails, heads, or heads, tails, tails. So they are all the options that start with heads. We get heads, 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 tails to start with. And then we could have got a tails, heads to start with. And then that would be tails, heads, heads. Or tails, heads, tails. Or we could have started with tails, tails. Tails, tails, heads, and tails, tails, tails. So they are all the possible outcomes. So that must be all of them. Question 11. Majid has a spinner. Majid is going to spin the arrow. The arrow can land on 1, 2, or 3. Majid says the probability the arrow will land on 2 is 1/3 because the spinner has 3 sections. Is Majid correct? Give a reason for your answer. So he is saying that there's 3 options. So each one has got an option of 1 in 3, 1/3. But that's not correct because they're different sizes. So no, the sections have different sizes. And we know that it's not 1/3 for number 2. It's actually a 90-degree angle, which is a quarter of a circle. So it is actually the probability of 2 is actually 1/4. Question 12. Sarah buys 24 bars of chocolate. 2/3 of the 24 bars are white chocolate. So let's work that out. 2/3 of is times 24. So 2/3 of 24. The calculator will tell us what that is, and it is 16. The rest are milk chocolate. So 24 take away 16. Again, if we want to do it on the calculator, we can. 24 take away 16 is 8. So that's 8 milk chocolate and 16 white chocolate. Each milk chocolate bar has a weight of 35 grams. What is the total weight of the milk chocolate bars? So it's 8 lots of 35. So answer, 8 times 35 is 280. So it's 280 grams. Question 13, simplify 2c times 3d. So it's 2 times c times 3 times d. We can times the 2 and the 3 together. 2 times 3 is 6, and it's still multiplied by c and d. So it's 6 times c times d, which we write as 6cd. T is equal to x plus 2y. X is 3, y is -4. What is the value of t? So t is 3 plus 2 lots of -4. So I'm changing x into 3 and y into -4. And when I'm substituting it in, I'm just using a bracket. So it's 3 plus 2 lots of -4. You could also write a bracket around the 3 where you've substituted it in. It makes absolutely no difference to the calculation if you've got the bracket there or not. 3 plus 2 -4s is -5. Question 14. On Monday, Lizzie cycled 36 kilometers in 3 hours. What is Lizzie's average speed? So we want to know kilometers per hour. How many kilometers does she go in 1 hour? And we could also think of this as speed being distance divided by time. If we go 36 kilometers in 3 hours, we're sharing the 36 between the 3 hours, and that gives us 12 kilometers per hour. 12 kilometers for each hour. On Tuesday, Lizzie cycled 36 kilometers at an average speed of 16 kilometers per hour. Lizzie says the total time she cycled on Monday and Tuesday, so Monday was 3 hours and Tuesday was less than 5 hours 20. Is Lizzie correct? So we've gone 36 kilometers at 16 kilometers per hour. And again, you could think of this as speed equals distance divided by time and substitute in. Or you could just say 16 is 1 hour. That'll make 32 2 hours, and so on. Let's use the formula. So speed is 16, and that's equal to the distance, which is 36, divided by the time. So 16 equals 36 divided by something. And what is that something? I'm not sure this is easier, but we are going to have to get rid of a divide by time by timesing by time. So 16 times the time is 36. 16 times something makes 36. And to solve that, to get rid of a times, we do a divide. It's 36 divided by 16. 36 divided by 16 is 2.25, 2.25 hours. So the time is 2.25 hours. And we need to add that on to the 3 hours on Monday. So 2.25 plus 3 is 5.25 hours. That's the total time. Is it less than 5 hours, 20 minutes? So a quarter of an hour is 15 minutes. So yes, 5 hours and 15 minutes is less than 5 hours, 20 minutes. So yes. Question 15. £3,500 is invested in a bank for 6 years. The bank pays simple interest at a rate of 2.5% a year. Work out the total amount of simple interest paid. So when we have simple interest, the amount stays the same every year. So we just need to work out what 2.5% of £3,500 is. And then we're going to add that on the same amount 6 times. So it's going to be 6 lots of this. So just times 6. So 2.5% of £3,500 6 times. We can use the percent button, 2.5%, or we could write it as a decimal, which is 0.025, or even as a fraction, 2.5% is 2.5 hundredths. Any of those are absolutely fine. Of means times, 3,500, 6 times £525. Question 16, you can use this graph to change between ounces and grams. Change 6 ounces into grams. So 6 ounces is here, up to the line, and then along. How many grams is that? So 150, 2 boxes is 160, another 2, 170. So that is 170 grams. Change 1 kilogram into ounces. Of course, a kilogram isn't on here. We've got options. We could do 250 grams and then times it by 4. That might be a good way of doing it. Or 200 grams and times it by 5. Or something like that. So 250 grams is there, which looks like 8.8 because this is 9, so each little box is 0.2. So 8, 8.2, 8.4, 8.6, 8.8. So 250 grams is 8.8 ounces. If we times it by 4 lots of 250 grams makes a kilogram. So 8.8 times 4, 35.2. 35.2 ounces. And that's going to be our answer. Question 17. Here is a triangle, ABC. The region R consists of all points inside the triangle that are less than 4 centimeters from A. So we need to draw a circle. The center at A, all the points inside the circle will be less than 4 centimeters from A. So let's draw on our circle. So somewhere around there. So it's a circle with a radius of 4 centimeters. Make sure you use your ruler to measure 4 centimeters and draw the circle. So that's all the points within the circle are less than 4 centimeters from A. It also has to be closer to C than B. So we need to draw a straight line, a perpendicular bisector, so through the middle of B to C, a straight line going down. I'm going to use circles. So I'm going to draw a circle, center at C, a circle center at B, and where they cross will be the middle. So I'm just going to draw a giant circle. So the centre's going to B. I'm going to get another circle with the centre at C. So there we have two circles. One, the centre's at B, one's the centre at C. And we can see that those two circles are going to intersect. They're going to cross at two places. So if I draw a straight line going through those two points, that will be straight down the middle of B to C. And we need to just shade a region that's closer to C on the left of the line and less than 4 centimeters from A, so within the circle. So we can just shade left of the line within the circle, and of course within the triangle. This is our region. So it's less than 4 centimeters from A, and it's closer to C. So there we have it. Okay, question 18. Mrs. Simpson organised a school trip for 66 children. The total cost was £1,800. The school paid 56%. We're going to need to work that out. So 56% of, so times 1,800, or if you prefer, 0.56 times 1,800. So 56% of times 1,800, £1,008. The rest was divided equally between 66. So what's the rest? 1,800, take away 1,008. £792. Divided equally between 66, 792 divided by 66. £12. Question 19, work out the value of this. Write down all the numbers on your calculator display. So all we have to do is type it into the calculator exactly how it looks. Press the fraction button first, then the square root button for the top line. 35.2 plus 1.7 cubed over 4.6 squared minus 8.91. It looks exactly the same on the calculator as it does on the page. Write down all the numbers. 0.517, 018, 9759. Write your answer. Correct to two significant figures. So it's the first non-zero number that we count. So it's 0.5. The next one's a 1, but it's got a 7 after it. So it rounds up 0.52. Question 20. ABC is a right-angled triangle. Work out the length of CB. So it's Pythagoras. We've got a squared plus b squared equals c squared. The two short sides squared and added together make the long side squared. So x squared plus 10 squared equals 19 squared. Because we're finding a shorter side, it's going to be 19 squared, take away 10 squared. So it's x squared, our number squared is 19 squared, take away 10 squared. So 19 squared, take away 10 squared is 261. So our number must be the square root of 261, which is 16.2. 16.2 centimeters. Question 21. Write 90 as a product of its prime factors. So we're going to break 90 down until we've only got prime numbers left. So it's 2 times 45. 2 is prime. I can break 45 down again. It's not in the 2 times table, it's in the 3 times table. It's 3 15s. 3 is prime. I can break 15 down again into 3 times 5. So 90 is the same as 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. 3 5s make 15. 15 times 3 is 45. 45 times 2 is 90. So 2 times 3 times 3 times 5 is our answer. It can also be written as 2 times 3 squared times 5. A number A is 2 squared times 3. B is 2 times 3 squared. Write down the lowest common multiple of A and B. So we could work out what these numbers are and then write their times tables. So 2 squared times 3 that's 12. 2 times 3 squared is 18, so it's 12 and 18. What's the lowest thing in their times tables? We wouldn't have to go very far. It's 36. Another way of doing it is to write a Venn diagram. So we've got A and B in common. They've got a 2 and a 3. A's also got another 2, and B's also got another 3. And the lowest common multiple is all of these times together. So we don't double count the 2 and the 3. It's just 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. And if we type that into the calculator, 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 is 36. Question 22. The number of hours, H, that some machines take to make 5,000 bottles is given by H equals 72 over N, where N is the number of machines. On Monday, 6 machines made 5,000 bottles. On Tuesday, 9 machines made the bottles. The machines took more time on Monday than Tuesday. How much more time? So for Monday, the number of hours was 72 divided by 6. And 72 over 6 is 12. So 12 hours on Monday. On Tuesday, the number of hours was 72 divided by 9 for 9 machines. And 72 divided by 9 is 8. So how many more hours did they take on Monday than Tuesday? 12 take away 8, 4 hours. Question 23. There are only red discs, blue discs, and yellow discs in a bag. There are 24 yellow. 24 yellow. Mel is going to take at random a disc from the bag. The probability the disc is yellow is 0.16. Okay, so 0.16 of the total is 24. 16% of the total is 24. So 0.16 times x is 24. X must be 24 divided by 0.16. To get rid of a times, we do a divide. There are 150 discs in the bag, so 16% was 24 discs. So you could divide by 16 and get 1%, which is 1.5 discs. And then times by 100, 100% is 150 discs. Whichever way you do it, we've got 150 discs in our bag. 24 are yellow, so 150, take away the 24. Remember to use the calculator. So 150, take away 24 means we've got 126 discs left. They're red and blue. The ratio red to blue is 5 to 4. So 5 to 4 is 9 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 4. 5 to 4. We've got 9 parts. If we share something between those 9 parts, how much goes in each one? So divide it by 9. Each one is 14 discs. So 14 lots of 5 for red, 14 lots of 4 for blue. So 14 lots of 5 is 70. 14 lots of 4 is 56. What was the question? How many red are there? There are 70. Question 24. Complete the table of values for y equals x squared minus x. So to find the y, we need to take the x, square it, and then take away an x. When we're substituting, we can just write it out exactly how it looks, but change the x's into brackets. So it's going to be something squared, take away something. So for the 3, we're just going to put the 3 in the brackets. 3 squared take away 3. And I'm just going to type that into the calculator. Something squared take away something. So for 3, 3 squared take away 3, which is 6. We don't need to do 2, but I'm just going to type it in. 2 squared take away 2 is 2. We've already got that one. 1 squared take away 1 is going to be 0. 0 squared take away 0 is 0. Negative 1 squared take away negative 1. So negative 1 squared is going to be a positive 1. And then we're going to take away a negative, which means add. So we should get 2. And that's everything we need. It's a quadratic. It's an x squared graph. So we can see it's symmetrical. We've got 0, 0, 2, 2, and 6, 6. It's symmetrical. That means we've probably done it right. On the grid, draw the graph. So we just need to draw these on. Negative 2, 6. Negative 2, 6 is up here. Negative 1, 2. 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 2, and 3, 6. And we just need to draw on a smooth curve to join these up, which will look something like this. Use your graph to find estimates for the solutions of the equation x squared minus x is equal to 4. So where is x squared minus x going to be equal to 4? It's going to be somewhere between 2 and 3, where it's equal to 4. If we draw a straight line along where y equals 4, where the answer is equal to 4, we get 2 intersections, here and here. What are the x's for that? So it looks like negative 1.6 and 2.6. So negative 1.6 and 2.6. We could check it on the calculator. Let's have a look. So if I had 2.6 squared, take away 2.6, is it going to be close to 4? It's 4.16. It's close to 4. It would have to be probably slightly lower. 2.5 goes below. So yeah, 2.6 is a good answer. Question 25. Andy, Luke and Tina share some sweets in the ratio 1 to 6 to 14. Tina gives 3/7 of her sweets to Andy. So Tina's got 14 parts. 3/7 of 14. 3/7 of 14 is 6. So Tina's given 6 parts to Andy. So then if Andy gets 6 more, it'll be 7 to 6. 14 take away 6 is 8. So 7 to 6 to 8. Tina then gives 12.5% of the rest of her sweets to Luke. So 12.5% of 8. So 12.5% of 8 is 1. So if Tina goes down by 1 and Luke goes up by 1, we'll get 7 to 7 to 7. Now all three of us have the same number of sweets. Yes. Is Tina correct? Yes, she is. So we've got 7 to 7 to 7 because she gave 6 to Andy and 1 to Luke. Question 26. ABCD is a quadrilateral. All angles measured in degrees show that ABCD is a trapezium. So whenever we've got a four-sided shape, all the angles have to add up to 360 degrees. So all of these added up is 360. So 4x plus 15 plus 4x plus 8 plus 3x minus 3 plus 2x plus 15 equals 360. So let's add these together. Simplifying means adding the x's. 4 plus 4 plus 2 plus 3, 13 x's. And we've got 15 and 15, so 30, plus 8, 38. Take away 3, 35. And remember, we've got our calculator that we can use to make it easier for ourselves as well. So I've got 13x plus 35 equals 360. We're going to solve the equation. We need to take 35 away from both sides. So 360 take away 35 is 325. So 13x's must equal 325. Divide both sides by 13. We'll get x by itself. And that is 25 degrees. So what are these angles? So x is 25. I've got 4 25s plus 15. That's 115. 4 25s plus 8 is 108. 2 25s are 50 plus 15, 65. And 3 25s, 75, take away 2, 72. And again, you can use a calculator for that. When you're substituting in, just put a bracket. So 4 25s plus 15 is 115, and so on. Show that ABCD is a trapezium. So why is it a trapezium? A trapezium has a set of parallel sides. And we know they're parallel because co-interior angles, these ones and these ones, add up to 180. So 115 plus 65 add up to 180, and 108 plus 72 add up to 180. So co-interior angles add to 180, and that means that we've got parallel lines, so B to C and A to D are parallel. Therefore, B to C and A to D are parallel lines, which makes it a trapezium. ABCD is a trapezium. Question 27. ABC and DEF are similar isosceles triangles. So D to E is the same as D to F because it's an isosceles triangle. Work out the length of D to E. So to go from the little shape to the big shape, because they're similar, if they're similar shapes, that means one's an enlargement of the other. So 1.5 times something makes 6. 1.5 times 4 makes 6. So to go from the little shape to the big shape, we times by 4. The lengths are 4 times as big. So D to E times something must be 8 times 4, sorry. Something times 4 must be 8. It must be 2. 2 4s are 8. So D to E is 2 centimeters because it's 4 times smaller than the big shape. Question 28. The table shows information about the weights of 120 oranges. Find the class interval that contains the median. So the median, the middle orange. So we're going to want, let's go for half, 60 oranges. So if we split it in half, we want the 60th orange. The 60th orange. So which group, how big, in which group is the 60th orange? So we've got 34 in the first group, add on 29, that gets us to 63. So the middle orange must be in the 100 to 150 group. The middle orange probably weighs something close to just under 150 grams because it's the 60th orange we are looking for. Calculate an estimate for the mean weight of the 120 oranges. Give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. So we're going to estimate the mean because we don't know the exact weights of the oranges. We're going to say all 34 of these oranges weigh 75 grams. We're going to go for the midpoints. All 29 of these oranges weigh 125 grams. We've got 27 oranges weighing 175 grams, 19 oranges that weigh 225 grams, and 11 oranges that weigh 275 grams. So we need to add them all up. If we've got 34 oranges that weigh 75 grams, that is 2,550 grams. 29 lots of 125 is 3,625. 27 175s is 4,725. 19 225s is 4,275. And 11 275s is 3,025. So we need to add them all up. And we get 18,200. So that's our total weight, 18,200. There are 120 oranges. So divide by 120 and we get 151.6 recurring grams. The question wants our answer to 3 significant figures. So that will be 152 grams.